Welcome to the Say So podcast. I'm Darbi.
And I'm Kaitlin. We are sitting here just thinking about the whole year that it has been, 2021.
Yeah.
Can't believe it's coming to an end. Feels like it just started.
Yeah.
And we just thought, as we have 2 episodes left, that we might just sit down and just talk about the year, reflect on the year. And so Darbi, as she would, in such Darbi fashion, has already thought through all of this year. Has put pen to paper and written it down. But so we just wanted to sit and chat and talk about the year and reflect.
Yeah.
So take it away, Darbi. What questions are we going to talk about?
Okay. Well, Caitlin's right. Every year I do these. They're called Reflect and Refocus sheets, and they come in my email every December, and I've been doing it for years, and I get so excited. I'm like, yes, I'm going to. It asks all the questions, and you fill in the boxes. I feel like it takes me forever, but I have such clarity about where I've been and where I want to go. So I'm just going to take some questions from that because I think they're good. They're kind of thinking questions, but some of them are fun. So we're going to do a mix of both.
Okay.
I want to start out with one question because I think this is important and I don't want it to be too heavy, but it's called grief. And it says, some years you feel abundant, others you may have moments and seasons of loss and suffering. Have you lamented and grieved? But the point of this question is also that it wants you to consider finances, health, relationships, people, and plans. And I think this is really good because we often think about grief in terms of people, as we should. But I think also we don't spend enough time grieving dreams, ideas, prayers that maybe God did say no to, and He's asking us to let it go. But if you don't grieve it properly, I think you tend to bring some icky feelings with that, bitterness, resentment, or you carry it. And the other thing is you'll stay focused on that thing you didn't get.
Yeah.
So do you think that there's something this year, Kaitlin, that maybe you're grieving?
That is a hard question. I feel like to just think of in a moment. I think that if I were to, just off the top of my head, answer that, I would say that, I would say more of just and I don't know if this is the right response, but I feel like I've learned a lot about timing this year and recognizing that, when it comes to the waiting period, that there is some not sadness that it's not happening, but I don't know, it just a frustration that things aren't happening in the pace that you think they should be happening. Yeah. So then you can easily, start to question, is this even what I'm supposed to be doing, or is this even the right goal to have? And so I think that, and I don't know that grieving necessarily falls under grieving, but I think that it's been a learning process for me of knowing that I think that what the Lord has put on my heart for my life and just dreams, I think they're good, but I don't know that my timeline is always right. So I think that I don't know if that.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. For me, I feel like I'm often grieving expectations.
Yeah, I would say the
So
same.
I think that's similar. I'm having to grieve that I remember when I had to grieve the daughter thing, which we talked about last time, or I have to grieve that my marriage doesn't look like I hoped it would.
Yeah.
Or maybe it doesn't look like I hoped it would by now.
Yeah.
So I think there are, and it's not that grief is just this deep weeping or mourning, but there is an acknowledgement of a loss.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Does that make sense?
That's good.
Maybe you had to walk away even from a relationship that you hoped would be a good friendship, but it turned out it wasn't going to be.
Yeah.
Or a position that you held and you had to leave. And I think it just means taking a moment. It doesn't have to be forever, but to just say, hey, God, that was important to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just giving it to you, because I think when grief is unprocessed, it just can take root.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess it was in September of 2020. I just transitioned into working for my husband full time, which I was working here at the church part time.
Yeah.
And so I got to be involved in kind of the, behind the scenes things of the church, and I love that. And I've realized that that's a passion that I have. And because when you just said, like, it just made me think, I literally had to lay that down.
Yes.
I had to say,
That's it.
I can't do this anymore, and I love to do this, and I'm so sad that I can't, but I don't have the time to. And so then going into 2021, I was up at our office every single day, and as we're closing out this year, I can look back and see that the Lord has blessed my obedience in that already, because I feel like, moving into 2022, my time's already going to look different with how I spend it, because I really feel like I was faithful to my husband and to the Lord, and I was obedient. So I did, I'm glad that you said what you said, because it made me think, I really did grieve that time of just like how I spend my time. It changed so much.
Yes.
But I chose to just trust the Lord and trust, my husband, and yield to his leadership and what he, what we both decided, but with his leading, would be best for our family and our business. And so, but I already, we're already heading into a new year, and I know that this next year is already going to look different, and I'm excited. So,
and I think that's exactly I think the freedom that you get, and even acknowledging the loss of that, which obviously does not compare to a person, but I think we don't often take the time to acknowledge our emotions with the Lord. Yeah. We think, I don't need to tell him I'm angry, and I don't need to tell him I'm sad. And he does already know those things. But I just want to encourage anyone, like, if you don't take that time, tell him when you're mad. I purpose to even write it out. Like, God, I want you to help me sort this out, because I don't want to hang on to it.
Yeah.
That's
good.
He helps you rework it.
Yeah.
So I love that question. I like this one too. This is about fears. Okay. So what did you...
going into the...
I know. Sorry. I'm like, fear and grief. Okay, we're going to get to some really fun ones next. Okay, but fears, and this is about conquering fears. It's not about going. So what did you and the Lord conquer this year? And do you have a new freedom and trust in the Lord because of the fear that you conquered with him? Podcast.
Right?
It was kind of a fear.
Yeah. What am I going to say?
It could have just been us every week, listening to us.
This is the first year that I spoke on the platform.
2 times. See? Such a good one.
Speaking about some difficult things with youth, which was fun, and then speaking at a women's event, which was fun.
Yes. See?
It was a little fearful, and just that it was a new thing.
Yeah.
I think both times I was so excited and just felt like it was the right time, but it was a new thing for me. I'd never prepared a message like that,
I know.
spoke. So that was fun. And I feel like that's just part of what this year has shown me, is like, I just, want more of that. I want more, more knowledge of the word, more learning about how to prepare messages and speak and communicate. And
isn't that so fun when you overcome a fear, and then all of a sudden you kind of want more of what caused the fear?
Ooh. Yeah. I know. It's true. It's funny.
We want the pain.
What about you, Darbi?
I know. I rarely feel afraid, and if I do, I've kind of learned to lean into it and just do it. But, I think the podcast for sure is one, just because it was a commitment.
Yeah.
So for me, often when I find myself afraid of something, it's more that I'm committing to a long-term thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that, even already God's given me a project for 2022 that I'm like, Lord, I'm not doing that. And he's like, yes, you are. And he's like, no, you're not. And can I tell you what he said? Because I told him, I said, God, that's a whole year. I just cannot commit to something for a whole year. And he said, Darbi, it's got to cost you something because it cost me something. And so now I'm looking at everything through, what does it cost? And not because I can't pay it, but because I just want to steward it well, I know I can pay it. I just got to know how to rework my resources.
Yeah. I think everything that is a reward is also a cost.
For sure, right?
It's I think it's one and the same. I think usually, or the reward is something that's costed over time.
Yeah.
No
risk, no reward.
What about jail ministry?
Oh, that was kind of scary, especially when I started going in alone.
Yeah.
And I go in and I'm just like, okay, I'm teaching the Bible today and we're not doing worship. So
yeah.
But it's been really fun to just teach the Bible and to just see what comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Really out of my heart, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're just in this room with some inmates and talking about the Bible. So yeah.
That's cool.
Conquered that one. Conquering that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so some fun ones. Let's do tell me a couple of things that have inspired you, brought you joy, or gotten you excited this year. Things that fire you up, motivate you. Tell me 3 things.
Oh gosh. Okay. This is gonna sound silly, but I got to go to Savvy's preschool class the other day, and me and another mom were in charge of their Christmas party. And so we were having breakfast. We were told, okay, we're gonna have a breakfast, and then you have to do a craft. And so we were like, okay, no big deal. So we started going on Pinterest, like every mom does. And we decided to make green pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
Which are so fun. And we made these just cute little fruit things. Basically, every element of the breakfast was just cute and Christmassy.
Aww.
And
so fun.
Creative. And then we did so I got up there real early and was making my green pancakes and like reminiscing my dad like always had breakfast for me, like green eggs and ham.
Oh, yeah.
And pink pancakes.
That's
and
so
breakfast
special.
was like our thing. So I felt like I was pulling a dad. And when we got through, I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I just really feel like that was a dream come true.
Oh, don't you love those moments?
Yes. I'm like, I just had so much fun. I've been waiting to because I feel like that's part of I love because Savvy's so excited that I'm there. She's like, oh, this is my mom. Mom, this is my friend. Mom, this is my mom, and she's sharing telling everybody I'm her mom. And I got to serve them all their pancakes. And it's something so small, but I felt like it showed me I need to make time for that moving forward. I want to be available to be a part of that stuff because it was just so fun. And my parents were always involved in my school and parties and, my childhood. And I get to do that now.
Yeah.
We're kind of moving into that season. So that's something small, but that just happened last week. And so I just felt like, man, I'm just so excited to do more of that.
But you enjoyed it too.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Because I don't enjoy those things.
Okay. And what was it? What sparked joy?
Yeah, joy or inspire you, make you smile, motivate you.
I also just think when it comes to my spiritual life with the Lord, I just feel like I've been so excited just to continue to read my Bible. I feel like through just doing different things within the church and within groups, I feel like I have learned more too about my spiritual gifts.
Yeah. You've come
and I feel like I've really tried to use them. And it's so exciting when, you can, I don't know, when you feel confident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's almost like that fear and that confidence go hand in. I don't know, I think
they kind of collide, the fear and the faith. Yeah, they kind of
collide. And you're like, I'm just doing this. I'm just taking a step and I'm just doing it. So,
yeah, I love that feeling.
Yeah, it's an exciting feeling. So, I don't know, that's 2 things. 3.
Hey, even doing the backdrop. I feel like that you love to do this stuff, and it comes so easy to you.
I do. It's true.
I'm thankful for it because I don't. I'm terrible at it.
And just like we talked about last week, photography is kind of something new. I feel
yes,
like I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. It's kind of fun. I think I'm figuring out I've talked about before, but I've never thought of myself as a creative person. I don't know why. Just never did. But I feel like as I just try new things and take on just different skills, I feel like, it's just kind of broadening my base,
Yes.
So, yeah. Okay.
Okay, those are great ones. Let's see. Things that inspire me. I think similar to you in reading the Word. I've been doing a lot of studies with commentary. Like I really want to I want to know the Hebrew. I want to know the number meaning. And that, I will just chase rabbit holes in the morning on that. So I do love doing that. I'm learning to love hosting.
Yeah, you are. You're doing so good.
Thank you. I had the most fun at my birthday party. And I had a similar moment that you did with the party where I was looking around and I'm like, I kind of cultivated this moment and I was so excited. And so
you want to do more of it.
Yeah. Especially when I think you do something that brings you joy, but you also see how it brings others joy.
Yeah.
There is just like a firework that goes off when you can find something like that. So I definitely want to keep doing more of that. And then a third thing, man, what inspires me? I always love speaking and doing that. So ways that I can continue to grow that gift or use that gift. Yeah. I don't know what that looks like necessarily, but I do get fired up on a platform with a microphone.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. It's good.
So there's that.
Good.
Okay, so the next one, and I love this one. What dreams keep you up at night and can you not stop thinking about? Even if it sounds crazy. So what's a dream that you have if you're like, okay, money out the door, resources out the door, family responsibilities, all of that out the door. If I could just, at the end of my life, I could say, I did this thing. A dream.
Little dreams that I have.
Yeah.
That add up to like kind of being the big things that I'm working towards is like, little things like Mason and I and our 2 kids traveling the country.
2 kids.
And our 2 kids right now. 2 kids. Growing up, Mason, they traveled. They drove everywhere and they traveled. And he's seen everything that you need to see in the United States.
Really?
Yes. And I've seen almost none of that. I've been to a few different states.
Yeah.
It's not like we didn't travel, but he's seen all the different monuments and all the different parks and and I want to see all of that. I want to see my country, and I want my kids to see it. And so I feel like that would
we
be think
a fun
about
thing
I don't know, we think about I feel like Mason and I have really, really been taught a lot this year about time and about what our time, how we want to spend our time. Because you can get so caught up in thinking that you have to do the same thing for the rest of your life that you've done for the last 5 years because that's how most people do it. And that's fine.
Sure. Yeah.
Some people are meant to do that. Some people are meant to work one job for your whole life. But I don't know that that's for us. I just don't. Maybe I did once think that, but I don't think that, I don't know. But I feel like we're both on this same page where we're like, oh man, I just feel like we're ready to, just be creative with our time and do different things and be really intentional with the way that we spend our time and spend our time with our kids. Yeah. And so, that's one thing I'm always thinking about is because it ties back into I feel like this podcast was something that we did because felt like we needed to get things out, just needed to take a step for just to share about what the Lord's doing in our own lives, and the step to take wasn't super clear, so we just took one, right? No, that's good. But in the beginning of 2021, was a podcast ever a thought? No, wasn't really a thought. No. I mean, and at the same time, it wasn't really a desire or a need for myself anyways. I mean, I feel like you're further ahead than I am. But for me, this became something that I knew that I needed at a certain point. It wasn't always the thing that I needed. So what I love, and I think about this a lot with the Lord, is what's going to be the next thing that I
didn't know you needed?
Didn't know I needed or wanted so bad that you're going to have something above what I could ever dream of. Does that even make sense?
It does.
I don't know. So I think that just comes with
growth.
You still have to be, we talk about this all the time, you still have to be doing stuff. And as you do stuff, more doors open. Yeah. If you're if you're found faithful doing the things that you're doing, like more opportunities will come. So, but you have to be wise with your time, you know? So just for me, like, I think about time constantly. How am I spending my time? What am I going to be doing with my time moving forward? What is my family going to be doing with our time?
Those are great questions, though.
Yeah.
To wrap up a year and to move into a year, because it's our greatest resource.
Yeah.
And we've got to be good stewards of that, as well as our finances and gifts. And so,
what about you? What keeps you up?
Well, I think probably I maybe want to write a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I mean, I'd love to be an Instagram influencer so that places would send me codes and free clothes, but I feel like I've missed that unless there's like an older generation because I'm already too close to 40.
I love it.
So I don't know. I mean, for me, I'm always just asking the Lord to use me, and it's so funny because I think when I say that to God, I'm like, yeah, I want to be used, but in my mind, I'm like, but in all these ways.
Right.
And then he'll go, oh yeah, that thing that you really don't like that you're doing right now with a bad attitude, that's the answer. That was the using that you said you wanted. And so my verse that I've been really clinging to in this month, and I want to carry it into 2022, is to commit your works to the Lord and your plans will be established. Because I think for me, one thing I've really learned this year is that I love to make plans, and we talked about that a little last week, but just that I want to just commit my works.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is I'm doing, I don't care if it's reflect and refocus sheets, if it's a conversation with a friend, if it's dinner with my husband. Like I just want to commit that work to the Lord and trust that whatever's on the other side of that is good.
Yeah.
It's His good for me, and He's gonna make every dream in my heart is gonna come true if that's what His plan is for me. And if it's not, then I didn't miss anything anyway.
Yeah, I think He's shown us this year that, you know, being intentional and thoughtful with everything is so important, and it always pays off. Which it always to be intentional and thoughtful in something usually requires a lot more time and energy and work and effort. But it's the reward. It always comes.
And so just full circle, we were talking about grief, and then we talked about, you know, the fears that we've conquered, and then we talk about things that inspire us, and I feel like they all kind of work together.
Yeah, they do.
God's using all of the things, you know, the things that you've lost, He restores it in a way that is different than you might imagine it. And the fear that you overcome is also where He meets you with greater faith and trust in Him to do more of the things which get you closer to the dreams in your heart. And so I'm excited for 2022.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking back. My first thing that I mourned was like the timing of everything, and then I'm like, and then what keeps me up at night is like, how am I going to spend my time? You know, it's like it is all just
see why these sheets are just kind of magical. I don't know. It just brings it all together. You figured out your life for a second. Well, I hope you guys will be thinking about the answers to some of these questions too as you reflect on this year and move into the new year because it's going to be really good. Yeah.
Write it down. Think through it. It really does make a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Next week, last episode of 2021.
We're going to be talking about words. Our words for 2022. I've already got mine and I'm ready.
I've got mine too. Yesterday in the shower.
I got mine this morning for sure.
Okay.
Okay, bye.